All right, so get this, listeners. Today we are diving deep into the life of, well, a rapper who became the mayor of Kathmandu.
Kathmandu.
Yeah, that Kathmandu,
Wow.
nestled in the Himalayas.
Yeah,
What a story, right?
that's pretty wild.
And the sources you guys gave me actually chart his path pretty neatly from childhood all the way to City Hall.
It's an interesting trajectory.
So to start at the beginning, we are talking about Balen Shah,
Okay.
born in 1990.
Right.
And he grew up in this vibrant neighborhood in Kathmandu called Nara Devi.
Gotcha.
Can you imagine walking through these bustling streets full of history and culture?
Yeah, and it's interesting. His parents weren't originally from Kathmandu.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they moved from the Terai region
Okay.
for his father's work as an Ayurvedic practitioner.
Interesting.
I think that understanding that cultural blend adds another layer to his story, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like this blend of tradition and modernity within him.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. And speaking of layers, his educational background is pretty impressive, too.
Yeah.
The guy holds a master's degree in structural engineering.
Wow, that's not just a random detail.
Right.
I think that having that technical background
Yeah.
likely informs his approach to urban planning
Oh, for sure.
and infrastructure development as mayor.
Absolutely.
It's like he's got this built-in understanding of how to build and improve a city,
Right. Yeah.
literally.
Okay, so we've got this sharp, educated guy growing up in Kathmandu.
Yeah.
But here's where things get interesting. While he's still a student, he drops his first rap single
What?
called Sadak Balak, which means street child.
Wow, talk about making a statement
Right.
right out of the gate.
Choosing to spotlight, the plight of street children
Yeah.
for his musical debut.
Yeah.
I mean, that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
It suggests a deep social consciousness from a young age.
Sure.
And a commitment to tackling these tough issues head on.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just a one-time thing.
Yeah.
In 2013, he has this big break with Raw Bars.
Okay.
Now, you might not be familiar with the Nepalese rap scene,
Not so much, no.
but Raw Bars was this super intense YouTube battle rap series,
Oh, wow.
a proving ground for rappers to showcase their skills.
Yeah.
And Balen, he absolutely dominated.
Wow, his style must have been something else.
It was, yeah. He had this sharp, confident delivery.
Yeah.
But what set him apart was he wove social commentary into his lyrics.
Oh, really?
Issues like corruption, inequality, things people often just grumble about.
Yeah.
He turned them into powerful verses.
It's like he was channeling those frustrations of a whole generation
I think so, yeah.
through his music.
Right. He wasn't just rapping about problems.
Yeah.
He was holding a mirror up to society
Yeah.
and demanding better.
Do you think that resonated with the listeners?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
His music gave voice to a generation yearning for change,
Yeah.
especially young people who were looking for someone to articulate their hopes and frustrations.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just empty rhetoric either.
Right, and that's where we start to see this clear link
Yeah.
between his music and his future in politics.
Oh, okay.
Take, for instance, his song,
Yeah.
Vote Vi,
Okay.
which translates to, "Where's the vote?"
Interesting.
He's directly calling out the political elite for their empty promises
Yeah.
and urging people to demand accountability. It's
Yeah.
practically a campaign speech set to music.
Exactly. It's like he was already planting the seeds for his political career
Right.
without even realizing it.
Yeah, so if his music was already this politically charged,
Yeah.
when did he actually start considering running for office?
Well, he first thought about it back in 2017.
Yeah.
He even went as far as publicly expressing interest
Really?
in becoming mayor.
Wow.
But ultimately, he decided he wasn't quite ready,
Mm.
which shows a degree of, I don't know, self-awareness
Right.
and thoughtfulness. It wasn't just like a spur-of-the-moment decision
Right.
driven by ego.
Yeah.
He genuinely wanted to be prepared
Yeah.
to make a real difference.
That's interesting. It makes you wonder what was happening in Kathmandu at the time
Yeah.
that might have prompted him to even consider running.
Well, Kathmandu was, and still is, facing some major challenges.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, traffic congestion, unplanned urban sprawl,
Yeah.
inadequate waste management,
Yeah, I can imagine.
just to name a few.
Right.
It's like this beautiful historic city was struggling to keep up with its own growth.
And by 2022, things had gotten even worse, right?
Unfortunately, the problems had only intensified.
Yeah.
And there was a growing sense of frustration among the people.
Yeah.
It felt like the city was at a tipping point.
So that's when Balen decides to step up.
He does. But this time, there's a twist.
What's that?
He runs as an independent candidate.
Oh, wow.
It was a bold move.
Right.
He wasn't tied to any established political party
Yeah.
or ideology. It
Yeah.
suggested he was more interested in representing the people
Yeah.
than aligning himself with, with the political establishment.
Right. And that's pretty risky in a system that often favors
Yeah.
established players.
Totally.
It kind of makes you think, did he have a clear strategy?
Mm.
Or was it more about riding the wave of public sentiment?
Well, his campaign definitely tapped into that desire for change.
Yeah.
He wasn't just offering vague promises.
Right.
He laid out specific, practical solutions.
Oh, wow.
Leveraging his expertise in engineering and urban planning.
So he wasn't just a rapper with a microphone anymore.
Nope.
He was a candidate with a plan.
He was.
Yeah, it's like he took all that raw energy and social awareness from his music and channeled it into this concrete vision for Kathmandu.
Yeah.
But it was a bold move running as an independent, especially considering how entrenched the political system can be.
Right.
Did people even see him as a serious contender?
I think there was a healthy dose of skepticism at first, but as the campaign progressed, people started to take notice.
Okay.
He wasn't just relying on star power. He was actively engaging with communities, addressing concerns, putting forward, practical solutions.
And that probably resonated with voters who were tired of the same old political rhetoric.
Exactly. People were craving authenticity.
Right.
Someone who understood their struggles and spoke their language.
Yeah, for sure.
And let's not forget, he had this incredible ability to connect with young people.
Oh, yeah.
A demographic that's often overlooked in politics.
Right.
So he cracked the code on how to engage a new generation of voters who are hungry for change, but often feel disillusioned by the process.
So we know he ultimately won the election in 2022.
He did.
What were some of the key issues that resonated with voters during his campaign?
Well, he really hammered home the need for transparency and accountability in government. He talked about tackling corruption, streamlining bureaucracy, and making sure that public funds were being used efficiently and effectively.
So it sounds like he was promising a real, shake-up of the status quo.
He was.
Did he focus specifically on, how his engineering background would help him achieve these goals?
Absolutely. He presented himself as a problem solver.
Okay.
Someone who could bring a fresh perspective and technical expertise to address Kathmandu's pressing issues.
What?
For example, using data-driven approaches to manage traffic flow, improve waste collection, develop more resilient infrastructure to mitigate the effects of, earthquakes and things like that.
It's fascinating how he was able to bridge that gap between art and activism, music and politics, using each platform to amplify his message.
Absolutely.
But let's be real, going from rapper to mayor, that's a huge leap.
It is.
What kind of challenges might someone with a non-political background face in such a role?
Well, navigating the complexities of bureaucracy is a challenge for anyone, especially someone coming from outside the system.
Right.
There's a steep learning curve. And he'd need to build relationships and coalitions to get things done.
Right. It's easy to talk about change.
Oh, yeah.
But actually implementing it can be a whole different ballgame.
Absolutely.
And I imagine there might be pushback.
Oh, for sure.
From established political players who feel threatened by his outsider status.
Definitely. There's bound to be resistance from those who benefit from the existing power structures.
Right. He'd have to navigate those political waters very carefully.
He would.
And be prepared for opposition.
For sure.
And what about managing expectations?
Oh, that's a big one.
I mean, his supporters, particularly those young voters who connected with him through his music, they probably have really high hopes.
Absolutely. And those high hopes can quickly turn into disillusionment if he doesn't deliver.
Right.
So balancing those expectations with the realities of governance can be incredibly challenging.
It's almost like he's taking on this role of a reformer. Trying to shake things up. In a system that might be resistant to change.
Totally.
Do you think he'll be able to maintain that momentum and idealism?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a tightrope walk.
Right.
Between staying true to his vision and compromising to make progress.
Right.
He'll need to find that, that delicate balance.
Right.
To be truly effective.
So it sounds like there's a lot at stake here.
There is.
Not just for Balen Shah and Kathmandu, but for what his success or failure might represent on a larger scale.
Exactly. His story could become a blueprint for others who want to challenge the status quo and bring about positive change.
Yeah.
Showing that it's possible to break the mold and make a real difference.
Right.
But it also serves as a cautionary tale about the complexities and challenges of translating idealism into action.
It's a reminder that change doesn't happen overnight.
No, it doesn't.
It requires patience, persistence, a willingness to navigate difficult terrain.
Absolutely. And it also raises an important question about the nature of leadership in the 21st century.
Yeah.
Do we need more people like Balen Shah with fresh perspectives and unconventional backgrounds stepping into positions of power?
It's a thought-provoking question.
It is.
And it's one that I think our listener might want to ponder as we continue to explore his journey and the impact he's having on Kathmandu and beyond. I mean, it's inspiring to see someone like Balen Shah just totally challenge that traditional path to leadership.
Right.
It makes you wonder, do we need more artists, activists, everyday citizens, stepping into these roles?
I think it's crucial.
Bringing fresh perspectives.
Yeah, to have diverse voices and experiences.
And a different kind of energy.
Represented in those leadership positions.
What do you think?
Yeah, people who are deeply connected to their communities.
Right.
Understand the real world challenges and aren't afraid to disrupt the status quo.
And Balen Shah's story shows us that it's possible, right?
It does.
He didn't come from some political dynasty.
Right.
He didn't climb the traditional ladder.
Right.
He leveraged his platform as a rapper to connect with people, amplify their concerns,
absolutely,
and ultimately inspire a movement for change.
Exactly. It's a powerful reminder that leadership can emerge from unexpected places.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that the skills honed in one arena, like connecting with an audience, communicating a message effectively, and mobilizing people can be incredibly valuable.
Absolutely.
In another. Yeah. It makes you think about the potential for change in other areas, too.
For sure.
If someone with a background completely outside of politics can achieve this. What does that tell us about the possibilities in business, education, healthcare, or any other field that's ripe for disruption?
I think it's a call to action for all of us.
Yeah.
To reconsider our own roles in shaping the future.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. What unique skills and perspectives do we bring to the table?
Right.
How can we use our voices and actions to challenge the status quo?
Right.
Push for positive change, even in areas where we might not have traditional expertise.
It's about looking beyond the usual suspects, right?
It is.
And recognizing that leadership isn't just about titles or positions. It's about taking initiative, inspiring others, working together to create a better world.
Absolutely. And Balen Shah's journey is a testament to that.
Yeah.
It's a story of courage, determination, and the unwavering belief that even one person can make a difference.
Well, listener, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into the life of Balen Shah.
We have.
From his early days as a rapper in Kathmandu to his improbable rise as mayor.
Right.
We've explored his motivations, his challenges, and the potential impact of his story on a global scale.
It's a story that invites us to reconsider our assumptions.
Right.
About leadership, the power of art and activism, and the possibilities for change.
Yeah.
In a world that often feels stuck in its ways.
As we wrap up, I'm left with this one thought-provoking question for you to ponder.
Okay.
If Balen Shah, a rapper with no prior political experience, can become the mayor of one of the most vibrant and complex cities in the world, what does that tell us about the potential for anyone, anywhere, to step up and make a difference?
Perhaps it's a reminder that the future isn't predetermined.
Right.
It's shaped by the choices we make, the actions we take, and the courage we muster to challenge the status quo.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the extraordinary journey of Balen Shah.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope his story has sparked your curiosity, inspired your own sense of possibility, and left you with a renewed belief in the power of individuals to create lasting change.
Right.